Part 2. Doing integration otherwise. This part reflects on our project contributions to doing integration otherwise and aims to inspire you to take action yourself. There are various ways of doing otherwise, as demonstrated by the many people and organizations already engaging in alternative infrastructuring practices that are discussed in part 1 of the toolkit and also in the video 2.2. You, as practitioners in a rival context, can also take part in doing integration otherwise and thus activate yourself. Drawing from what we call platform building within our research project, part 2 of the kit offers inspirational stories and tools to support you in making a meaningful contribution to integration otherwise. Reroute platforms brought together stakeholders and served as spaces for initiating, facilitating, moderating and supporting small yet impactful steps towards positive transformation of the arrival infrastructure. Through the co-creation of platforms or the strengthening of existing platforms, we aim to explore and support alternative possibilities of doing integration otherwise, and also plant the seeds for long-term transformative approaches to integration that move beyond conventional organizational and institutional norms and routines. As such, platform building was a logical follow-up step of the ethnographic research conducted in our first research phase that allowed us to see how integration is already being performed otherwise on the ground. Let's have a look at a story of part 2. It is entitled A Participatory Exhibition on Agricultural Labor in Westland and Haspengouw, Facilitating Conversations and Changing Narratives. This story is about a collaboratively produced exhibition in the regions of Westland and Haspengouw in the Netherlands and Belgium. These are two areas highly reliant on agriculture and migrant labor. The exhibition aimed to disrupt the commonly accepted and somewhat romanticized narrative of agriculture and its heritage, in which migrant workers, despite their long-established presence and current contributions, often go unnoticed. Yet, the objective of the action was to encourage people to think differently about labor migration by discussing with key stakeholders the ways in which migrant workers are already integrated into both Haspengouw and Westland, without reverting to a reactionary debate about exploitation. Despite challenges, this action highlighted the importance of migrant workers to local agricultural heritage and encouraged a shift in public perception. A very important step towards creating an exhibition to foster community dialogue and change the narrative around migration labor was to find a non-contesting starting point. From this action, we glean the following takeaways. First, in polarized context, people may hold divergent views on certain issues. Utilizing topics that are not contested as starting points for dialogue can help bring them together. Second, identifying and collaborating with individuals who can navigate local context and power dynamics can facilitate the organization of your action. And in this case, our researchers worked with people from the cultural, heritage and tourist sector, apart from the farmers and the newcomers, of course. Third, lowering barriers to participation involves addressing various stakeholders simultaneously and also paying attention to issues of language, time, resources and mobility of the stakeholders. In the toolkit, stories are typically followed by tools that guide readers to reproduce useful aspects of platform building in their contexts. An example is the following action tool. It's tool 18 in the inspiration kit and it's entitled Find a non-contested starting point for your dialogue. It will take you 30 minutes and you need paper and a writing utensil. So this tool helps you find a non-contested starting point in polarized contexts to facilitate dialogue among distant stakeholders and in this case to develop an exhibition on migrant labor in agriculture. It involves identifying topics that lie at the intersection of all groups' interests and therefore sometimes are peripheral to their central concerns or are deemed non-threatening. This approach of focusing on shared, less contentious subjects helps trigger attention and initiate interaction and dialogue. To define such entry points, it is useful to think of topics that lie at the intersection of the interests of all groups of people and represent non-threatening subjects for all. This means that this common ground should not be subjects that are vital or central for any stakeholder, but are rather at the periphery of their interests. Such topics can have different meanings for each group, but they should also be commonly recognized among groups. For instance, the farmers, the newcomers, the municipality in this case. In this sense, they help trigger their attention and become a starting point to interaction and dialogue. In the exhibition we discussed in the story, cultural heritage, specifically rituals, represented a very effective topic through which it was possible to involve different stakeholders who are usually at the opposite sides of a polarized discussion, farmers and workers. Since it was perceived as relatively non-threatening, the progress of getting access, getting permission, and starting a dialogue with many people was eased.